So I think we've all said our piece about it next time. We're all excited about it, the potential of it.
This is gonna be godly, is what it is.
Uh,
And speaking of godly, that brings us to our third topic, people. It is about God, or more so the meaning of God and what it means in a verse and fictional standpoint. And I'm just going to say it outright: God means nothing.
I mean, it entirely depends, like, on the
It
universe we're
means
talking about.
nothing. It means nothing.
Like, let me take Dragon Ball as an example. Like, yeah, Kami is a god. Like, his name is literally God in Japan. Like, then you've got, like, King Kai, Grand Kai, Supreme Kai, Grand Supreme Kai. Jesus, there's too many. And it's just like, yeah, they're all technically gods, but they can all be beaten by mortal beings and surpassed. So that kind of becomes, like, meaningless after a while.
So, yeah, throughout the versus community in fiction, God has always been, established to be that top tier thing, like, in all of fiction. Like, if you're a god, you're essentially the most powerful character within that story. That, however, has been misinterpreted a lot from the versus community. So, to talk about it in a pretty much a more detailed explanation from Mate's standpoint, is like, yeah, the title God literally just means you're a being above beings. Now, that could make sense in the terms of, like, real life religion, like Christianity. The Christian God has the power to create life, create a universe, and potentially destroy that.
Yeah, and turn people to salt because they masturbated.
I mean, I used to be a Baptist, so in like the Christianity sense, he's considered like the creator and ruler of the entire universe.
Yeah. However, that's just one sort of output you could look at a god. However, if you're more powerful than that, technically you should be considered a god. Like, realistically, characters like Thor, Vegeta, and Goku, and maybe even characters like Scarlet Witch and Superman should be considered gods, because, well, they defeated...
Thor is considered a god, not just in like comic books, but in like mythology terms. Like, Thor's a good example of like a god in versus debating, because he qualifies not just in this definition, but in other definitions of what a god is.
I'll actually get to him once I actually bring up something. Like, the whole term of god, it's like, you are the most powerful being within that universe. Nothing should be able to defeat you. You are the almighty. Like, in games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, you fight characters which many people consider gods in those universes. They are so powerful, nothing can defeat them, except for your character. However, your character doesn't have that much power behind them. They just defeat them through, like, tactics and, skills and, timing. However, when you actually look at their power output, it's not that impressive.
Yeah, because some gods in video games are defeated by, like, a certain specific item as well that you need to wield.
Yeah, and this is the thing people, including myself, have fallen in the trap of. Let's say, for instance, Fulgor from Killer Instinct. Many years ago, me and Yang and other people debated who would win between Fulgor and Darth Vader. Technically, Fulgor has defeated a god. And he's even defeated characters that have also defeated a god. Now, let's look at the power output of that said god. It's not that impressive. Like, Orchid is considered to be a god killer, but that's only because the god in their universe is just so powerful no armies can stop them. However, this god isn't like a universe creator. They are just titled a god because no one on Earth can match them. However, when you compare their power, this character can't really destroy a planet even. So Fulgor defeating them is impressive, but just because they defeat someone with the title God doesn't make them a god or a god defeater. They just defeated someone with a certain title. And in Norse mythology, Thor is considered a god because he's a powerful warrior. However, when you compare him to in Greek mythology, someone like Zeus, he's not that powerful. Zeus created life. He created the universe. So, yeah. However, he has been defeated by characters that don't have that power. Hell, in God of War, like Ares, the god of war, got defeated by Kratos, who at that time wasn't even a god. He was just a man with super enhanced powers. So, yeah, like, the term god really doesn't matter. Like, you could be called a god, doesn't mean you're unbeatable. But people always use that like, oh, well, Goku's considered a god now, because he's called Super Saiyan God. It's like, well...
Sometimes I feel like it's just thrown as a title for, like, dramatic effect is the problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, technically the Ghostbusters defeated a god. Because the god they defeated is considered the god of destruction. It destroys all living things.
Oh, and to give an example of, like, someone who just has the title God, but they've been beaten and, like, surpassed and everything. The Colossus Titan from Attack on Titan is known as a god of destruction.
Yeah.
But that's just because it towers over every other known Titan at that point. Also, whenever someone transforms into it, it's like a massive nuke going off.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea of
No, he's not going to wipe out all life on the world just by blinking or anything.
Yeah. Like, the whole idea of, like, a god to me is, like, what I consider to be a god is a being that cannot be matched. Like, nothing in the universe should logically be able to defeat it. Like, technically, like, Darkseid is what I would consider a god. Like, you know, just his existence wipes out the entire multiverse. However, that's why he has to...
I guess you could just say, like, an outerversal being.
Yeah, like, sure, you could argue, well, what about characters in that universe like Kryptonians and, like, Zeus, or even God himself existed in that universe? Yeah, they're not that powerful, though, compared to Darkseid.
Yeah, and, like, I think another problem with this is that a lot of cultures and, like, different media outlets or depictions of media have, like, gods of certain things.
Like, again, what I was saying about, like, Broly is considered to be, or I think he's even been established to be more powerful than Beerus, a god.
No, Goku just said he might be.
Well, to be fair though, Goku's never really been wrong about characters being that strong.
Yeah, but he's also never fought Beerus at full power. So, for all we know, like, Beerus might still be more powerful than Broly.
I don't know, I feel like Beerus is powerful in his own right. However, it was established, like, early on in the Super Stories that Beerus is the weakest of the multiverse of Gods of Destruction.
But in the manga, doesn't he take on, like, a bunch of them at once by himself?
Exactly, which is what I want to bring up. So, like, just because you're more powerful than... you're considered more powerful than anything in that universe, doesn't mean there aren't ways to beat you. Like, I brought up Dark Souls. Technically, those beings are considered gods amongst their universes. However, it's because of, like, their major damage output and their destruction. However, if you were smart enough and you find their weaknesses, you could easily overpower them and just defeat them and leave them to die.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, like Goku, here's the other thing as well, like, look at the Super Saiyan God form. When that came out, people were thinking, whoa, Goku's gonna be a god? It's like, no, he's a god amongst Saiyans. He's the most powerful Saiyan at that point. That doesn't mean he is an all-powerful being across the universe.
And then Vegeta gets the form too. And it's like, well, not just Goku now.
Yeah. So, yeah, this whole idea of, like, God means, you know, if you defeat a god, you're suddenly more impressive. It's like, well, let's look into the context of what makes them a god. Like, Another comparison, let's look at the Elder Gods from Mortal Kombat. Raiden is dubbed a god. However, he's the weakest of the Elder Gods. Even when he chose to have his Elder God powers, which allows him to destroy the universe or even a planet, he is not that powerful compared to someone like Shinnok or even Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn and him are considered equal, even if he's in this Elder God form. Hell, Armageddon is considered to be more powerful than the... Oh, sorry, not Armageddon. Blaze is considered to be more powerful than all the Elder Gods. He threatens the multiverse. Technically, Blaze should be considered a god, even though he's not dubbed as one. But when you look at it from like a real-life perspective, he is a god. He is more powerful than any other being in the universe, or in the multiverse, apparently. And, you know, I'm not trying to downplay, you know, the idea of gods, because, you know what, the gods are powerful. It's just that people look at them from their perspective. Like, to us, Jesus is a powerful god. However, when you look at all of gods throughout history, and even, like, in comic books or novels, Jesus isn't that impressive. Sorry, Christians, if you're watching this.
Hi.
Oof.
I was a Baptist.
I'm sorry! But okay, do you really think Jesus could defeat Darkseid?
Probably not.
Nah. You know, Jesus would be
I mean, maybe if he puts him in a paper shredder because he's nothing more than a drawing.
Oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, I think they've had Jesus in comics too.
Yeah.
Like Marvel and DC comics.
I'm debating whether I should have that joke in there. I'm not sure if that's too offensive.
Whatever you feel like, but I mean,
I'm saying Darkseid is just a drawing.
Oh, okay, then I thought you were using, like... never mind, moving on.
My main thing with the whole gods and, like... I don't know if this means just, like, fiction in general or, like, versus debating in particular, is that a lot of times God is used as, like, a title.
Yeah.
To describe, like, something that's powerful and whatnot, because, you know, that's, like, the base definition of a god. So it's hard to actually be like, well, are you actually a god, or is it just a title? That's the problem.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? There was a Futurama video game that came out on the PlayStation 2, which I used to love. Leela fights someone who's titled the Sun God. But then it just reveals
this.
But then it just reveals he's just a man.
Yeah, he has an army of skeletons, but they're robots. He just makes them out of people's bones.
Yeah.
Normally, most people make their robots out of metal. Yes, but mine is more evil.
Evil!
Do you know what? I still love that joke in the game with the skeleton guards talking, what happens when we die? Then someone with a normal voice, we're already dead, get with the program.
I remember there was this one where it was just like, something's happening. I can feel it in my bones. Ah, good one.
But, yeah, like, so technically, Leela defeated a god because in the level, he was the most powerful character until, you know, he lost his powers and he tripped into lava because he evil laughed too hard. But like that's the thing. Whenever a character defeats a godlike being, that's when the verse community or verse battle wiki people then decide they're god tier. It's like, well, do they deserve god tier if they defeat someone like, I don't know, Kami? Like, yeah, he's a god, but he's not really Beerus level of power. Don't even think he's even close to Super Saiyan.
I mean...
No, he's nowhere near close.
A god is more than just its power, though. Like, if it's worship, then some people consider him a god. That's like the whole problem. It's like, what do you consider a god?
That's another point. The term god just means someone you idolize, you know, someone who you worship. It's like you could be a celebrity. That doesn't make you a god. It just means. And does that make you celebrity tier on the Verse Battle Wiki? It's just like, no, that celebrity might have just been a pushover.
Yeah.
Like
I can understand that.
The Verse Battle community has exaggerated what the term God. Oh Jesus Christ! What? I haven't even had dinner. Why am I burping so much?
Speaking of gods, there's one right now. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, like the whole idea of like you're suddenly God tier, or you're suddenly so powerful that because you defeated a god, so you're considered God tier. It's like maybe look into more context to how this character beat this character. You know, hell, like Piccolo absorbed Kami. Technically, he has the powers of technically has the quote unquote powers of a god. Doesn't do shit.
Or again, like Kratos, when he had the Blade of Olympus, that was God's power in that specific item. Like sometimes characters will have like things that have the power of gods, but that doesn't necessarily make them a god or more powerful than a god.
Yeah. In fact, like when you even look at it from like a video game standpoint, is that all the enemies Kratos fights has the potential to defeat him. However, it really depends on if Kratos just decides to let himself get hit, or how much power he's willing to use to fight his enemies. So I mean, he could technically die by normal means if he allowed it. I mean, heck, in New God of War, he can technically be killed by zombies made out of trees. Now,
yeah.
Of course, story-wise, that would be pretty sad, you know, to see a powerful character lose to a zombie, but it does go to show that, you know, even a god can fall. Hell, even Darkseid has been defeated despite the fact being so powerful. Like, if you defeat Darkseid's true form, I feel like you definitely deserve God tier within the DC universe. Or just defeating a character that can wipe out all of reality. Like Scarlet Witch and Zatanna, I would consider to be on a level of a god, given the abilities they can do.
Or like, what was his name? The spirit inside Fate's helmet.
Yeah, that's technically a god.
Yeah. Like, if Zatanna has beaten something like that, then technically, yeah, Zatanna can be considered a god.
Yeah, because Dr. Fate has the ability, if he wanted to just rewrite the universe in his own image, or in its own image. However, he is only there to bring the balance of chaos. He's not there to just decide what I want the universe to be like. No, he's still considered a Justice League member because he still protects the innocent. You know, unless, you know, the only way to keep the balance is with, you know, joining an evil side to keep the balance between good and evil. It's confusing, I know. Sometimes his methods are a bit questionable.
That's fair. Sorry, I'm getting messages, so I'm just responding to those real quick.
Responding to bills? What other bills have you been seeing?
My uncle, his name is William.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, he really was talking to another Bill.
He also used to be in my D&D group, so...
Ah, okay then. Yeah, so this probably won't be our longest third topic, because, you know, it's just talking about, you know, the concept of what God means. You know, they're all powerful. Doesn't mean, you know, they're unbeatable, or if a character defeats a god. You know, look into more the context why they're considered a god in the fictional universe. Like, you know, sure, having all the Infinity Gauntlets makes you all powerful. Doesn't mean you're a god, really. It just means you have the powers of a god within your grasp. But then you look at characters like Darkseid, or, you know, isn't Galactus considered a god?
He's a Celestial, yeah.
Yeah, like those characters, the Marvel Celestials, they're gods because they have the ability to rewrite the universe and even destroy it if they so wished. Like, they are the all-powerful. And yeah, I think that's all we pretty much have to say for this third topic. Like, we'd like to hear more of you guys' thoughts on, you know, the meaning of God in fiction.
Yeah.
Or even in a verse battle type of context.
Because there are some characters in fiction that work as a god, technically, because, like, example, Thor is probably one of the best examples of one because of original mythology.
I don't know, if we're talking one of the most, like, BS examples I can think of, Arceus in Pokemon. Because, yeah, fun fact, Bill, the Arceus you know, that ain't Arceus.
Mate, I already know this. You told me this, like, months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Arceus is Pokemon Darkside, basically.
Yeah. Which, it makes sense, really, because does it really make sense for an all-powerful being being able to be captured in a man-made Pokeball? In fact, if a Pokeball...
No, those are just avatars across the multiverse.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually a good point. Like, if an item is capable of overpowering a god, does that mean the item is considered a god-tier weapon, or is there more that we need to look into to why this weapon was capable of destroying them, or capturing them in this case?
I mean,
there's also just the fact that it's just an avatar of the god.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it gets explained, but other times it's left to interpretation's the problem.
Yeah, so...
I think overall, if it's just a title, a way to describe someone, that's not really a really good example.
Yeah.
I
also kind of want to wrap this up soon because I want to watch that Battlecast.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. That's what we have to say about the whole idea of gods in a verse battle context. And yeah, I think that's pretty much our discussion really at this point. You guys got anything to add for this third topic?
No.
I'm good to go.
Alright then, so thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the latest episode of Lads Discuss Death Battle. It was a fun episode. We got to enjoy a very sad yet comedic, or comedic from my point of view, fight. We are excited about the next time, and we want to hear your thoughts about the whole idea of gods. You know, what is your interpretation when a god is mentioned in a verse debate? With that said, mate, would you like to do your outro?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. If you did not enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out mine and Sean's channels, keep up with everything Billy does, and we will see you later. Bye.
And Sean.
Thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this session and videos of Lads Discuss Death Battle. Let us know your thoughts on Tanjiro versus JoJo. What do you think of the next time between Thor versus Vegeta? Who are you rooting for in our bet, which I'm also kind of excited for because it's different. And what are your thoughts about gods in fiction / versus debating? Check out any links that Bill provides in the description. And thank you folks for watching, and I will see you all later.
And with me, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Lads Discuss Death Battle, stick around. There'll be more videos like this in the future. And even stay subscribed. We got more content for you in the future. Farewell, everybody. Is your version of Billy better than me?